Blog Talk Radio.
Warning, you have entered the realms of the gods, so give us your mind and your full attention.
So you say you deal with esoteric information? I never heard of such.
Well, you're in for a treat.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk. Alim, El-Bey dropping jewels every day. Blog talk, this is the blog talk. Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual. Blog talk, this is the blog talk. Alim, El-Bey dropping jewels every day. Blog talk, this is the blog talk. Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual. So you claim to be a god?
Damn right I'm a god. The maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, god of the universe. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that.
So tune in or lose, friend. All strategies apply mathematically. The information he drop is real powerful. So get your notepad, it's more than an hour full. Watch your jaw, the crew is watching talk. Indigenous to the land wherever we stand. First world order, we bringing it home in the first quarter. Invisible lines don't apply, we cross borders. Silly rabbit, knowledge for gods. No matter where you reside, lodge, temple, or mosque. So don't fret or proceed with hesitation. Just tune in to Blog Talk to get the information. Peace.
I don't need to be a dope boy, my poetry is dope enough. Trapping interstellar while my third eye open up. See through all the lies that y'all telling with a straight face. Return of the luminous ones. Y'all better make way to find a chapter. Find a collapse on all you politicians. They politicking how to lead a world, no pot to piss in. The way I think is more deep and in the Grand Canyon. I guarantee this black man would be the man standing. My premonition matched the old man calendar. It's always accurate like a lightweight challenger. For all you wicked witches and the Wizard of Oz, you and that man behind the curtain, yeah, y'all fixing to fall. Only a matter of time before shit hit the fan. Here's an idiot's guide for you on how to get a man. I don't need a bunch of homers to ride or die with me. I can call on Hey Roo to fly the skies with me. Going through the transition and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the folk. Came back for angel time to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned to the birth. We going through the transition and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the folk. Came back for angel time to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned to his birth. When I'm riding on the city streets, never really miss a beat. To the point of no return, unless I turn another cheek. Catch me on my dating bot, smooth as I wanna be. Just being me, never chilling with the wannabes. God in the flesh, dated bad sister latches. Because my history is more than they can understand it. My melanated skin, starburst from the astro. I'm made of dark energy created from black holes. No thyself, the only one you can lean on. I got some school books that y'all can break y'all weed on. Our hair is Martin Luther King and slave ships. But what about the underwater cities and spaceships? My mystical mind, we had the government covering. But if the old man tip will fly away like a mothership, we're African people, we're the real Anunnaki, wearing feathers on their heads just to prove feet taller than me. Through the transition and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the folk. Came back for angel time to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned to the birth. We going through the transition and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the folk. Came back for angel time to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned to his birth. Yo, don't look at me the same, I ain't nothing like I used to be. Upgraded daily through the lies and all the foolery. My dream became lucid, I travel back in time, collecting life data from my subconscious mind. That father let me know that anything is possible by pulling down the universe through my crown chakra. Manipulate the energy is all an illusion. Knowing who you are kills all the confusion. Why 85% judge off my appearance? I use alchemy to create the world potential. My lyrics turn divas right back at the queens. Why dope boys that think twice appearing back on the scene. Everybody gone mad, bladed media outlet. The new black Hollywood chosen straight out of projects. Homo agenda war sucking up to the master. While the whole community going up in disaster. We going through the transition and that's all she wrote. back, came back for ancient times to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned since birth. We going through the transition, and that's all she wrote. Put on my uncle, gave my Jesus peace back to the Pope. Came back for ancient times to bring heaven on earth. I was the last golden child that returned since birth.
Peace. Back once again with your host, Dr. El-Bey. First World Order Radio. No doubt, we back once again. Today we have a very special show for you. This is dedicated to Dr. DELBERT BLAIR, who just passed on January the 31st, 2016. Within this last month, we've lost two great ones, Dr. Francis Quest Welson, as well as also Dr. DELBERT BLAIR. So tonight's show is dedicated to Dr. DELBERT BLAIR. But before we get to that, let me bring on my co-host, Brother Fahim L. Are you here, brother?
Hey, Ha'ate Washington East, Dr. Alim.
Hey, Ha'ate Washington East. How you doing tonight?
Doing well, brother, doing well. I'm sorry to hear about Dr. Blair. Yeah, brother, the first hearing of it.
Right. Well, it's all over the internet. I was one of the first to post the information as he passed on like around 8:43 that morning. I believe it's by 12 o'clock. We already had some posts up, relating and telling the family, and also send out some emails telling the family that he passed on. So we wanted everybody to know, that a great one has left our presence, the top metaphysician, in the world, and love within our community, our conscious community, So we're going to play a little bit of him tonight, as this is dedicated to him. This is Dr. DELBERT BLAIR dropping some of that metaphysical stuff on you.
Over about 3,600 years ago, Egyptians and Sumerians and wise people, again, the Zulu people, everyone that understood that there's a meta side to things, a metaphysical side of things, and a regular side of things. Meta is an above type of being. It's a thing that lets you get into the higher consciousness. So they've been talking about an eccentric planet in our system for the longest. It's had many names. They believe in what they would call, in many cases, we used to call it the planet Phaton, F-A-T-O-N. And that's the theory of a planet that has an eccentric orbit where it's coming around. Again, then they began to call it Nemesis, and they called it then the astro-nemesis. Then they began to refer to it as the planet of the crossing. Then Wormwood. And finally now it gets its name back again, Nibiru. Now, there's something else that people should understand too. And I know when you hear me talk, you say I'm out the box. I am. But this whole planet is out the box. People are out the box. And they better get into some kind of box that can sustain and protect them right in through now and again. Because, you see, there's another planet we have called Chiron that has nothing to do with this eccentric planet coming around every 3,600 years. This is another planet in our system which they're just discovering or for some reason has hid. And it's just the same way now. It's, 1 month they got Pluto, another month you don't even use Pluto. This place is crazy because we're finding out, beginning to understand that we've never been told real history. We've never been told the truth. We've been spoon-fed like little babies with a thing to keep us dumbed down, comatose, brainwashed, inoculated, vaccinated, and encrypted. Any two of which makes you useless to an ascending planet because they also put chips in you now, and when you start to get yourself straight, when these chips get through messing you up mentally, physically, and spiritually, you're right back where you started from. And I've done interviews with people down in Tampa Bay, 2,500 people who are TI'd, technically invaded. The government or something has put some chips in there. They hear voices in their head. Their health is failing, all because they took these shots and vaccines or got kidnapped or what do you want to call it, and these things were put in there. Sometimes they're put in at birth. I tell people, be careful of those blank shots that they want to give you. When these mothers make these babies in these hospitals, most of them government controlled, they put chips in them. They're supposed to give you 7 shots. And if the head nurse lets 2 people escape each year, she's fired or he's fired. Because, again, they want you to be chipped. They want you to be controlled. Once you can understand this, once you can understand that most of the things we've been taught are lies, now you begin to respect metaphysics. Now you begin to respect what I say. And as I've been saying before, all these things are not just becoming. It's just that now they're becoming to me because people are now seeing, hey, something's wrong. There's something dangerous out here. We have 13 major religions, and we have 285 sects, S-E-C-T-S. In other words, these offshoots of that have no basic religion, but people still follow. In fact, most of the wars on this planet have been fought over religion. The wars right now happen in Malaysia. Well, I say it's Malaysia because they keep picking on the Malaysian. Happen in Syria, happen in Dahomey, all over the place. Same thing again. You got Christians. You got Christians now being crucified, and it's very interesting too, because they're crucifying the Christians because they don't believe in Christ. So when you say that, you cannot say planetary. You have to say in whatever religious belief you've chosen to steep yourself in, and now you got somebody that's not going to like you because they have a different religion. More wars fought on religion, then it's for land, then it's for race. This is what most of the stuff is based on. So I would say this so-called Christ consciousness in Jesus has nothing to do with anything. That's just one religious belief, and it's not the largest religion in the world. The 3 other religions have more followers than that. It's just that we hear it here in the United States so much that we even dare to even call a religion after the Christ. Well, a God is whoever you take it. When I say about a universal mind and a universal creator, I like to use the phrase universal prime creator. That's what I call that. Now, some people call God the universal prime creator. To me, we're all gods. Gods and goddesses unaware, because we've been incarnated here so long and messed up so long. We do so much bad we can't get away from our reincarnation, simply because we didn't understand that there's no such thing as a good religion, because until you can understand that you have a soul and can go directly to your creator, you're going to worship somebody who's going to put an ATM machine on you, or going to put some donations on you, or going to put some servitude on you, or going to put some bad, messed up food on you. And this is what we have to understand. We don't need churches. The church and God is the temple of the creator, which means simply our bodies are our temples. We should worship these temples. We should try to protect these temples. We should serve these temples as the temples serve us. They had this human genome project, which they finished up. I think it was about 2004. They finished it, and I shuddered. I said, "Oh my God!" Okay, but I didn't say, "Oh my Creator," but that's what I meant. What have they done now? They said we have what they use it some kind of crazy figure, 7 trillion cells in our body. And both of these cells now are messed up cells because they mess up our water, our food, our air, everything again. And I say, well, if this is the case, then that means we got 7 trillion times to screw up, simply because all those cells started with a sperm cell and an egg. It formed a zygote and adhered to the uterine wall. And from there it grew, which means that if we have 7 trillion cells, as they say, I don't know, maybe we do, then that means you have 7 trillion cells who you're supposed to be the boss of, because you created them. You got together with a female, and you created this particular cell, and this cell is now grown. So it means, again, if this is the case, then they should be serving us. Most cases, we lost sight of them when we were born, because, like I said, most of the people were born in hospitals. Well, very few had what they call virgin births, or very few had births that were not contained in a hospital. It means that automatically you got your babies messed up, because they gave them those 7 shots, including hepatitis C. It means with all the genetically modified foods, all the messed up water, all the fluoride they put in the stupid water, and people are brushing their babies' teeth with fluoride and then wondering why their teeth were mottling. All these things come from ignorance. But the ignorance was placed here, first of all, by our captors, these Dracons, and that's where you can trace most of these things. And the ones that serve them are called the Illuminati. They're here to keep you dumbed down, comatose, brainwashed, inoculated, vaccinated, and encrypted, and serving their masters who they worship. And, of course, for them, they give them all the money they want. They give them all the land they got. They don't have to worry about taxes. They do everything they want to do, because the gods that they worship are not the ones that you would worship. They worship Dracons. Most of them are called short name Illuminati. So that's one, we can kind of get into even more deep. We've got to say some other thing too, because I've done this so many times. I mean, I consider that everybody knows. But if people say, well, you name some of these religions and stuff, and some of these other saviors. Well, it's so defined. You've got in Japan, you had Zaha. Okay, they had that for a long time. In China, you had Fuhai. Now, Fuhai and Zaha meant that the Chinese and the Japanese had different religions, and people forget this. Back in the 1920s and 30s, the Chinese and the Japanese fought each other like mad. They can't stand each other. They were fighting. They had two different gods. And, of course, they even had two different flags. The Japanese said that they had the 7 rays of consciousness, so they had 7 rays in their flag. But they used to fight each other. There's a reason they stopped, but there was two there. Scandinavia, they got these redheads and bronze and stuff. They still worship a black man. The guy's name was Tyre, T-Y-R, Tyre. Again, that's where we actually get the word Tyre. We spell it differently again. In Mexico, they had Ixtilton. They had Quetzalcoatl. They had some that's a different one. But anyway, all of these were black. These are Negroid-looking, dark-colored people that they worshiped again. In Siam, you had some Nam-Nikam. That's the one I always think about because I was getting into a big debate with the guy this Saturday over that. In India, they had Krishna. This is why I tell people that there is no such thing as a Native American Indian. Now, when I say that, everybody goes crazy. Oh, you step too far. You don't know what you're talking about. There is no Native American Indian. First of all, there's no place as America. America is a very recent word. Some say by Amerigo Vespuccio. But one of the oldest name I can find for this land was in Calia. But the Indians came here from India. Other than that, the Indians had names. Their names were like Caribs and Zuni and Choctaws and Seminoles. It all meant that they were on this land, but they were sometimes indigenous to this land. Everybody thinks everybody had to be brought here from Africa. Black people were here and in Africa and in all these other lands. This is why I say it gets kind of confusing. And religion makes it even more confusing because religion takes it to another step that wasn't even necessary. You know, as I say again, it just goes on and on. And by the way, too, some of these names of their gods actually means black. It actually caused that. For instance, again, the Egyptian, they had, what do they call this? I know there's one I used to read about the history of China, Volume 1 again. It was called the name they called him Osiris, the greatest Egyptian god. Osiris means Lord of the perfect black. The chief god, again, of the what do they call these people, in Italy and so on and so forth again, was Zeus. Then you had another one, Krishna. Krishna was a blue blood god. So it just shows to go you that we've been so subjugated by a religion that serves as a politics, because some people's religion is political, and that's where you can see the big wars going on now with Syria and with Israel and with Saudi Arabia. All of these have different gods. So I just simply say these religions have taken us off the beaten track into the hells that we have here now. This is why this planet is such a hell, because of all these religions, all these wars, all these killings, on all these my God's better than your God things. Our planet has been chosen by the universal prime creator who made this planet and made us stay on this planet again. Our planet has a much more dimensions than we're taught. And our planet, in many cases, serves at least 5 basic races: red, yellow, brown, white, and black. But it also serves others who live on this planet. So in 2004, another planet came into our system. After 2004, and after a while, it began to be that if you were in the United States, or in really anything above the equator, if you were in the United States, again, and the sun set, you couldn't even look at it if you're driving west when the sun set in the west, because it's so bright, because there was 2 of them. That was the longest. I had the hardest time making people believe that. But now, if you go on the internet, they got pictures all over the place of the second sun. They got them in Italy. They got them in Europe. They got them in Africa. They got them in Greece. They got them in Germany. They got them in Polynesia. They got them in Hawaii. the second sun is there. Well, now we got a third sun. And that's where we have to now get into this Nibiru thing and getting into this whole thing. Because there is a third sun now that is supposed to be 7 times larger than we are, than our planet. Of course, if it was shining as it would be, we'd not only be blinded, we'd be scared stiff and dwarfed. Well, it would begin to show itself starting next year. And it is 7 times larger than we are. But that's the sun that we're going to have to use to take us out of this system into a new system. Now, when I went to school, I've been in school. I was in school for so long, but I've been out so long now. But back when I was going into my degrees and stuff and doctorate and all this stuff, they told me that there was only one sun. Well, now, of course, we understand that there are 2 suns. Now, of course, we must understand that there is another sun. And they also told me that we were in the Milky Way galaxy. Now these astronomers and physicists and astrophysicists and meteorologists all talking about now that no, we got a new sun, and this new sun is going to take us into the Milky Way galaxy. Well, they lied to me then. Either we were already in it, on the fringes of something else and didn't know the name of it, or now they're discovering that we are now going into the thing they said we were on before. Either way, it shows the backwardness of the teaching system, the backwardness of astronomers, and other lies better that they tell us. They might be for it, but they make us backward because we're trained. They don't educate us. They train us. I tell people again, you don't educate a person that you're going to dominate, because that person, about 2nd and 3rd generation, will dominate you. So we've been miseducated. We're just beginning to wake up now that we are miseducated. And if you go up on the internet now, you see references to Nemesis and so on like that. Our second planet could be called Wormwood, but I say it's not. It's a planet of its own choosing. Wormwood and Nemesis and all is another planet which has an eccentric orbit that comes around about now, and that's what they are also. So it gets very confusing when you understand that we've never been taught the truth. So therefore the truth now sounds like a lie. Yeah, to start coming into prominence about the end of next year. Because by 2000, we're going from kindergarten to grad school, and we must be in grad school by 2016. Because our planet has got a limited time for it. Because the sun, this new sun that we have now, is changing vibrations. Because the creator, the universal prime creator, now I got to go back and differentiate, has so decreed that our planet Earth has suffered long enough, has had crazy and beastly people on it for long enough, and now she's going to get a reprieve. She's going from the 3rd dimension into the 5th dimension. And that seemingly has never been done, and when it's done very seldom in all of our galaxy, in our universe, in our cosmos. But the Earth has been granted that reprieve, which means that we're already now getting into the 4th dimension. That's because you can tell that because people are seeing shadow people out of the corner of their eyes. They're beginning to see things and dark shadows and stuff, simply because we're beginning to look into a new dimension. We're beginning to develop psychic sight, so we can see into the higher dimensions. In fact, what is very interesting, on the higher dimensions, like I say, we're on the 3rd dimension. There's only 2 dimensions lower than that, and I don't even want to deal with that. Whatever that is, that's got to be oblivion. But we're now getting into the 4th dimension. As I say, people are seeing shadow people. They're going into astral projection. They're getting into all these kind of things in which they now can become more psychic. They're beginning to see the nimbus, the auroric field. They've always been able to do it, but now it's beginning to happen in mass. So people are waking up. And as we get into that dimension, we're now in the dimension where most of these dracons live. Some of them have made it to the 5th dimension, but very few. Most of them dwell specifically on the 4th dimension. Well, that's why now people are seeing shadow people. They're seeing these dracons and stuff. They're seeing these guardians like Yetis and Sasquatch that guard the inner world where these people live. So everything is coming out. It's just that it's now coming out in almost like a lexicon or a mass puzzle. You got to take the pieces and put the pieces into the proper fit to get the proper puzzle. Most people haven't even got to square one, and those that have now are the ones that are waking up to metaphysics, beginning to church, beginning to try and find out what they do when they come out of their bodies at night, astral travel, and remote viewing. These are the people that are waking up, and they're the ones, of course, that want to get faster in vibration, so they got to give up genetically modified food, because all that slows them down, and all they do is get caught up in these these astral hells and going through these dimensions and getting caught up, this is a thing. So that's the difference between those that are trying to clean up their act and vibrate faster versus those ignorant ones who are still eating the hamburgers 15 for a penny. For instance, they have the step pyramids down at Tiwanaku, down at Chocola. And these are step pyramids. That's the one these winged creatures used to come down on in their big airplanes, and they land them up there and then walk down these big gangplanks and all. That's why the treads and rises on those things are so broad. They're not for people. They're for huge people. They're for aliens, if you want to call it that. So anyway, the references were to it. We are under control. These creatures have been here. They are still in here. And as we get closer to going into the real Milky Way galaxy, that's another thing too. These meteorologists, these astronomers, these astrophysicists are telling you that the Milky Way galaxy has a Oort cloud. That's O-O-R-T cloud. An Oort cloud turns out to be dark matter, and 75% of this Milky Way galaxy, in the center of it, is dark matter. And this is why they now even say that dark matter precedes light, that the light comes from dark matter. And this is where they say, well, now you're racist. No, I'm racial. Racists have been against most black people for the longest because they envy the dark matter. And that's what we have. That's where you start talking about melanin and the pineal gland. That's where you start talking about the Oort cloud. And it's interesting, too, because the reason why they call it the Milky Way galaxy, and I think most people know that, is because there's so many suns in there in the Milky Way galaxy that it looks like almost like droplets of milk, that if you just pour it, it just like a Milky Way, a whole path of that. Well, if they're suns, that means in many cases they're going to be planets around them. So now you got a real conundrum. What is so huge to be able to have trillions of suns and 2,000 and so suns and then still have planets around it? That means space is highly occupied. Space is highly dense. There's got to be other life forms on that if you got that much going, because it's just insane to think that all this was made for people who don't even know it's there, who would never wake up. No, we got to wake up quickly, and we got to begin to face the fact that we're nothing. We're little mitochondria, and this planet we are is nothing but a cell. But for right now, it's going to be a big cell, and we can still address it as that cell with a sun and so on like that. They talk about black holes. They talk about dark matter. The original creation is all darkness. That's why there's more darkness than light, because the light has come from the darkness. And you heard this term, let there be light. And we spoke, and there was light. All this stuff. But if you remember, like Moses and stuff, Moses supposedly was black, but he stuck his hand in that, brought out, and it was white. Blackness is everywhere. And that is dark matter. That is black holes. That is, from the darkness, everything has been. So there's got to be more darkness in space than there can ever be light, because it's the light that came from the darkness, not the darkness that came from the light. When you look at that, then you have to start getting to our central vortex. You have to start talking about, well, what is the cosmos? Then you have to start asking, well, what is the universe? Then you have to start asking, well, what is a nebula? Then you have to start asking, what is a constellation? Then you have to start asking, what is a solar system? And then from that, we've got to get into, because within all of that, like on Earth, you got three different things here. You got, this place used to be called Terrestres. So now we have people inside the Earth. This is when they start about Richard Byrd and all these other things, Dr. Henson, Matthew Henson. Well, dark matter is simply Terrestres. Terrestres is people who live inside the planet. Terrestrial is those who live on the planet. So you got interterrestrials, then you got extraterrestrials. Those are the ones that live in the sky, like the leprechauns and the fairies and stuff like this. This place is as complicated as you want to make it. It's as simple as you want to take it. It's a matter of how much research can you take, how much can you expand your consciousness, and how much truth can you. Well, there's an old phrase, so is in the microcosm, so is in the macrocosm. So is in the smallest of my work, so is in the largest of my work. That's why I always use that phrase again. There's no truth to you decide what truth is, because based on your consciousness, that's what you get. If you're a dummy and you can't wake up, you stay dumb and can't wake up, because you won't wake up. But the signs are always there. Every night we die. Think about that. Every night we die, if you're nocturnal. If you're diurnal, you have to sleep in the daytime. Every time you go to sleep, you come out of your body and you die. The heart rate usually slows down unless you're having a wild dream. Your respiration, everything goes down. And you come out of your body. We have to come out of our body because we're not the body. We are souls in a body. We use the body. Once you can understand, like any utensil you're using the body, now you know you got to come out of it. Now the thing is, some people use it better than others. Some cooks are better than others. Some people use more spices and things. They have a variety of food. So it's according. If you're a dummy, then you come out of your body and you sleep because you're taking drugs and pharmaceuticals, and most pharmaceuticals, all pharmaceuticals are drugs, so you don't know what you're doing. Why? Because nobody taught you, because they didn't teach you that you have a soul. If you did, they didn't tell you your soul came out of your body. They didn't tell you that you were of the body and not in the body, but of the body. That's why now they're talking about the matrix. And Sylvia Short and all this, because the matrix tried to show you we're in a matrix, we're in a hologram, we're in a fairy tale. And once you wake up to that, then you can come out of that, create your own matrix, create your own reality. But most of us now, we're still busy worshiping the body. We don't understand that the body is just a small utensil, and we will lose it eventually. And unless you understand how to make another body or reincarnate, you will cease to exist. It's very important to wake up at this time. If you don't wake up at this time, you're never going to wake up. I am a definite affirmating that there's many races in space. How many? That's debatable. But it means, again, that if you can believe that there are races in space, then these races have got to originate somewhere. And they originate in many cases on planets. In some cases, they originate on moons that orbit planets, such as like when you get in Jupiter and Saturn, because they're gaseous. The life forms in them are very high dimensional. So most of the other life forms live on the moons that orbit those planets. So when they say there's a people from Saturn and Jupiter, they don't really mean Saturn and Jupiter. They mean one of Jupiter's 12 moons, or one of Saturn's 13 moons, or 14 moons. I think they boosted it to now. Or one of Mars' 2 moons. This is why I say again, you have to start from scratch, because most of us have been miseducated, and the most of us are really terrible. The ones that have been the most miseducated think that they're educated. They're not. They're trained. They're trained to hold a job. They're trained to believe conceptions that are not even true. And then they're reinforced by the church, which tells them what there is only one God, one Jesus, and all this kind of stuff. So that's ignorance now. To believe in that is not to believe in metaphysics. To not believe in the metaphysics is to never find truth. I believe more in the metaphysical books than I ever have any of the biblical books, even though many of those biblical books and stuff have many chapters to them, and many of those things are already in metaphors. If you could just understand the metaphors, what we take for truth and solidity is metaphor and metaphysical. Well, how can I say? In my father's house, there are many mansions. That's an indirect quote. In some of the biblical texts, again, there's a passage, I think it's near Ephesus or something like that, and it came to pass that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and they were fair, and they went and they chose of them who they would, and they went unto them, and unto them were born mighty men, and there were giants in the earth, so on and so forth again. But we've had these different races that live out here on these other planets that have come from time to time to this particular planet. And we confuse those with gods, we confuse those with old wives and old husbands' tales, but it's not. These are the truths about his story, and of course his story is the one that they started back in about 1895, 2000, University of Chicago with John David Rockefeller, Sir Francis Petrie, where they started all this new teaching. Nobody even knew what they were talking about, so they had to train you. In order to get sabbatical and tenure, you had to learn this new history and go out and teach it. Then they hid all the books in the libraries, in the basements and stuff, and studied. It's the same thing again. Once you expand your consciousness, everything I'm saying will ring true, because as an old soul, you do these things. But we have to keep coming back into the fleshly body to prove that we knew these things. Well, this is our last time, our last 2 years, for coming back into the fleshly body to do it. Now, the fleshly body it will no longer exist on the fifth dimension. This is why now languages will change. We got confused another thing, too, because of all these languages that we had. And, of course, because of the Tower of Babel, Babylon and Babel means to babble. When you enter the fifth dimension, they don't use words. They use thoughts, and they read your mind. And this is what we all do. As we get older or we get near death, we can begin to read people's minds because the words can exist. That's why they made so many words. But the thoughts are there. So if you understand the thoughts, it doesn't matter what the person is saying with words. You already know what they're thinking. This is when you become God. This is when you become higher dimensions, just simply because you're just beginning to use some of the powers you're supposed to have, the energies we're supposed to have, but because of these Dracons, because of misguidance and misteaching, we don't use any of them.
All right. So you heard Dr. Delbert Blair, and you heard a collection, a summary of some of the greatness on which that he presented to us on planet Earth. Yeah. We're going to bring on our special guest tonight, Brother Tarhaka El-Bey. Are you here, brother?
Yes, sir, my brother. I'm in. What's going on?
Islam. How you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, I'm doing just fine, man. I was listening to Dr. Delbert Blair, and he's absolutely correct with everything he said. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. You know, that's one of the great ones. I mean, one of the top metaphysicians, as well as he's told me several stories about, you know, how they, you know, try to poison him, and his wife woke him up one night and he had a red light on the back of his head, and you know, all types of things. And you know, I know, you know, whenever you do some research, or when you have talked to Dr. Delbert Blair, you know, he was an actual engineer by trade. You know, that's what he got his degree in. He's also, as we heard, a research scientist, a metaphysician, a teacher, and a historian of the highest level. You know, for over 30 years, you know, he was the director of the Meta in Chicago. You know, essentially since like 1973, and had, you know, lectured in over 200 forums on various subjects. As we just heard, most of those subjects, facts and myths about 2012 and UFOs, the gods, and man connection through the 18th dynasty of Egypt, the fate of the black woman on Mars, the now three sons, radiation in hospitals, cells from hell, the danger from cell phones, another energy vampires, ELF, which is electrical low frequency waves, sexual energy dangers, the dangers of driving cars and other modes of transportation, the melanin wars, you know, the womb man, and why we should avoid vaccinations, and return of the black cosmic forces, the applied science of meditation, and we can go on and on and on and on, you know, about Dr. Delbert Blair. So, you know, we want to definitely dedicate a portion of this show tonight to him, as well as also get into, you know, you, Brother Tarhaka, and, you know, I know I'm going to get ready to play your commercial right quick, so hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get to that.
One more time. Our foreclosure killer package not only comes along with the necessary documents that you will need, but also your very own personal coach to walk you through the process of saving your home. If you've been foreclosed on already, or if you've received documents stating that you'll be foreclosed on, or if you are already in the court fighting a foreclosure, contact Tarhaka Amana El-Bey, 904-303-9061. Also visit our website at www.newdebtelimination.com. Stop foreclosure on your property. Let's stop this unlawful practice. Contact me, 904-303-9061, before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
All right, so I guess we'll start there, Brother Tarhaka, on the foreclosures, which you you know, want the audience to know about that, and like you said, you know, whether it's, you know, if it's just the beginning of the foreclosure, if it's already in the court system, you can help. Tell us about that.
Okay, well, first thing that we have to understand is we have to ask ourselves a question. Okay, who are they trying to foreclose against? If you're in the court, who are they fighting against? If they have already foreclosed on you, who did they foreclose against? It goes back to the same thing that I've been preaching until I'm blue in the face. The United States is a corporation. And the only thing that a corporation can do business with is another corporation. We're going to say that we have Walmart. Okay, Walmart's a corporation. But me and you walk into Walmart. We spend our money in Walmart. But when Walmart get ready to do their books and report anything to the IRS, everything that we gave them in the form of fiat currency or credit or whatever is transformed in the name of corporate fictions. We still got people who believe that part of the United States is a country. They filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 1933. If we look up everything about a corporation and bankruptcy, we've come up with one thing. They filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They issued House Joint Resolution 192. The only business they can do is with another corporation. So the sheriff, the police department, the light company, the gas company, the student loan people, the mortgage company, the everybody, corporation. Okay. So if we understand that, then we do a little research and we find out, okay, you doing business with a corporation. Everything that comes in my house in the form of a bill, my driver's license, my social security card, if I'm working on a job, my paycheck, if I open up a big bank account, the bank documents, it doesn't matter. All is addressed in fiction. Those are the rules of the game. So, therefore, and thus, if we understand that, then we do a little more investigation. We say, well, what if I control the corporation? I done been to the cemetery. I see all the gravestones in the cemetery. They all addressed to a corporation. I'm a living man. I died. There's a gravestone there. It's all capital letters. Same stuff. It ain't hard to figure out.
Sure, indeed.
Okay. So that's what's going on. So it behooves us, the first thing to do, take control of the corporation. Now, you did mention mortgage. Now, mortgage is not, but we have to be careful and we have to make sure that we wring that rag out and get all the water out of it. We don't just want to just throw that on the top and we got the mortgage and we got to pay that in the moment. There's still so much stuff going on. First of all, they committed an act of fraud. Second of all, you had every opportunity to pay the mortgage off at maturity. If you got 30-year mortgage, you wait 30 years to pay it off. But we have all these other scoundrels faking the move, bamboozled, hoodwinked, all this right here on people who don't know no better, and they lose their homes. What was that?
That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening, Brother Tarhaka. You speaking the truth.
Now, we got a situation down here. It's classic. I don't have a mortgage. Got rid of that. Been not done that. But we do have a sister down here. And I told the sister, I said, sister, I said, look, the first time I told her about all this, she was like, I don't know nothing about no Moors. I'm not a Moor. I said, this ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't want to hear no salam like I'm not. Oh, hold it a minute. I said, you call me over here about your mortgage. That's why I'm here. It doesn't have anything to do with my nationality. It has everything to do with you in commerce. Let's deal with that. So we set her up. We beat them. I turned my back. I went on back to the house and everything. Then she comes back to me, well, they said, I said, did you do the thing? Well, no, I just sit down. I said, no. Now we got to start over and do it again. I said, because you already supposed to have done it. So this time, when I talked to her, she said, you know what? I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to do what you told me to do. And so now we did it. When she realized that, you know what, this is not only fantastic, but it's fun too. I said, okay. So now she said, well, if I can do this, I want to get them. I need them to. They got to pay me for this. I said, yes, they do. I said, how much you want? Well, they give me $10,000. I said, no, that's not enough. I said, let's ask for $500,000. She said, oh, who? She said, I can do that. I said, yeah, you can do that. So that's what's on the table right now. It already came to me, so we just sitting waiting on that right there. And that's what we've been doing out here.
Right. Well, I mean, really, the only thing she really had to do was just look at, the United States Corporation, like you stated previously, and the various court cases in which that states that not only is it a corporation, but how these artificial entities, artificial corporations can interact with natural persons. So, I mean, even the Black Thought Dictionary speaks about that within the 4th edition, that there's a difference between artificial person and natural person. As an artificial person is opposite, or contradicts, that which, is natural. So right there we know that there has to be a conflict in which that has to be resolved in some shape, form, or fashion.
Well, you're absolutely correct. And where the problem comes in at is the people that you're trying to help, they don't really understand the magnitude of what you just said. This is real. It is real. It's exact. If you understand that and you really understand it and overstand it, you got it, that's what you deal with. If okay, they say that the Supreme Court says, well, everybody got a freedom of right to travel. And then your driver license or registration. Speeding is not an arrestable or ticketable offense. Registration, insurance, none of that. That's what they said. But we have these people riding around in these police cars, robbing the people, extracting revenue from the people because they know that the people have not come to the full conclusion of understanding and knowing without any shadow of a doubt to the point of doing something about it.
Right.
They always say it's nothing you can do about it.
Every game got a rule. if we were playing football, we know that tight end he goes over to check down the split end flanker. We got a lineman to fall back to stop the running back, and all. These are the rules of that game. Every game has rules. So why is it that we understand the football game, we understand the baseball game, we understand the basketball game? When it comes to the law game, whoa, we gotta game.
Right, but then at the same time, the Tarhaka say that that life is but a game. You know, well, if that's the case, then you better learn the rules, right?
Right. If you understand the rules of the game, see, you can't play checkers and win unless you know the rules of the game called checkers. You definitely can't play chess and win nothing until you learn the rules of the game.
Right. And see, we don't know United States Supreme Court case laws, which that give us the ability to guarantee what is stated within the Constitution, which is life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, coming directly from the Declaration of Independence, because that's part of the Constitution. There's 4 Constitutions. People don't even know that. You know, the Articles of Confederation, Articles of Association, Declaration of Independence, as well as also, you know, the United States Constitution, or previously as it was the Constitution for the United States. You know, when they look at the laws, I mean, Winville versus Fielder. I mean, it specifically states that no license is required of the natural individual traveling for personal business, pleasure, or transportation. You know, Chicago Coach versus, I think, the city of Chicago. It states that travel is not a privilege requiring license, vehicle registration, or force insurance. So, like you said, they're doing nothing but extorting monies from those who don't know and don't want to fight back. But they'll get ideas with Black Lives Matter, which is being funded by damn George Soros, you know, a billionaire, you know, and you got to wonder why the so-called Flint, Michigan, which is over 70% so-called black, you know, why, you know, the Black Lives Matter ain't saying shit about them.
Well, let me straighten that out. First of all, the statement that you made about Black Lives Matter, the answer to that is absolutely no, because everybody on the planet have a nationality. Right. All nationalities are associated with a landmass. If we have Chinese people, there's a land called China. If we have Cuban people, there's a land called Cuba. If we have Australian people, there's a land called Australia. It goes on and on and on. But if you ask me, do Black Lives Matter, the answer has to be no, because there's no such thing as black people.
No.
As you said, does Moorish lives matter? Mission control, we have a problem. Of course, because we have evidence to prove beyond any shadow of a doubt there cannot be Indians in America and Indians on the land called India that's associated with a landmass called India. We have been victims of brain. There is no such place as New York City. There's no such place as Florida. There's no such place as Alabama, Mississippi, Detroit, Chicago, and on and on and on. We have bought into somebody else, Brandon System. What was the name of it before immigrants came here, stole it, pooted on it, booed on it, killed you, lynched it, and raised it, and then call it something else? It don't exist. We're going to have to get some things right, and then we can start going on to the next thing. So the answer to, does Black Lives Matter? The answer is absolutely not, because there's no such thing as black people. White people either.
Exactly. Absolutely correct on that.
Anything else you want to say about that, Brother L?
Yes, he's absolutely correct on that. Yes, black matters do not matter. No, African American lives do not matter either. So there's no such
That's
people
correct.
as African Americans. People of color do not matter because there's no such people as people of color. These people are not any part of the human family. Therefore, they do not exist.
Right. Well, let us understand. Let us explain what we're saying here, because the people are going to get mad at you, Brother Al, for saying what you're saying, as well as you too, Brother Tarhaka. So
that's all right. Open up the phone line. Let them in.
So let us explain to the audience that we're talking about colorable law, which is only under artificial person status. Or, for example, if you read the United States Supreme Court case law of Tarhaka versus Dowd Administrator, it states that in as much as every government is an artificial person, an abstraction, or a creature of the mind only, a government can interfere only with other artificial persons. So hence the reason why they had to turn you into an artificial person, to make you this label or status of colored, black, Negro, African American, etc., etc. It's imaginary, having neither actuality nor substance, and is foreclosed for creating and obtaining parity with tangible. Right? That's what it's talking about. Tangibility. And you can't get tangible things as an artificial structure or construct. So here you are going into court, and as soon as they say you, they already is under the presumption that you are a Negro, black, or colored. So hence they can begin to start to adjudicate. But this is why you send into the court proceedings prior to you going certified mail return receipt a special appearance, or what is called a restricted appearance of notice, saying that, look, I'm only coming because you have guns. However, I'm going to be I will come, but under threat, duress, and coercion. I'm not a 14th Amendment citizen because it was never fully ratified, and I'm not. And based on the Dred Scott case, I'm not a U.S. citizen, nor will I ever be. So you, the court, this individual over here who claimed to be a district attorney, posing as the state, posing as the people, you know, he got a lot of different titles over here, but really he's inadmissible because based on the rules of evidence, the only person who can actually talk on behalf of someone who did something is the individual who was there who seen it. It has to be eyewitnesses. Anybody else in the court of law is supposed to be inadmissible. That means there's nothing on which that the district attorney should be saying on behalf of anybody because they were not even there for eyewitness account. So this is the foolishness, as Brother Tarhaka is talking about, that's ridiculous, in which that is taking place. And we allow for this to keep happening. But then when we go to court and we damn shut down the court, the morals are wrong. You know, we're just supposed to be standing on the corner saying black power or some shit. You know? No, that's not the way it's supposed to be going.
All right, well, let's see what.
You're supposed to be in these individual behinds in front of them, in their face, shutting them down so that they know that the damn dig is up and the fraud is over. No more games.
Well, let's look at it this way. Usually, I do this forward going to the end. But this time, we're going to start with the end, going back forward. When you die, you go to the coroner. Now, what the coroner has to do is he going to do an examination, declare you dead, and all that right there. Do the autopsy and all that, you know, and then we're going to go to the cemetery. What the coroner is going to do on record, for the record on paper, is perform a bodily attachment. He's going to take the living man who has died, he got the body, and he's going to pronounce you dead. It is up to the other people to bury you. Once they bury you, they're going to put a grave, is in all capital letters. Now, before you go to the coroner, you have already been labeled as something called a corporation all your life. Before that, when you was born, you were labeled as a corporation. We're going from 10 to 1. We ain't going from 1 to 10. We're going from 10 to 1 in reverse. Okay, now the problem has been the fact that you were under the impression that the United States of America was a country. The only thing that a corporation can do business with, according to the rules, is another corporation. So when you was born, we have to make you a corporation. You get sick, you're a corporation. You die, you're a corporation. You get buried, you're a corporation. So what we have to do is figure out how to derail this train from cradle to grave. Do you agree?
Hell yes.
All right. Go over to YouTube and type in "claim the name before they do." Get that done.
All right, everyone, you heard that? Claim the name. YouTube. Claim the name
before they do. That's a start. Come on, brother Alim. The train moving. Let's roll.
Right. Well, I just wanted to say that we're using the United States Supreme Court case laws or the Constitution, not because we're under it, because we're not, but because if we have to go to their court system, these kangaroo courts, we have to use something in order to bash them in the head with. And what else could it be, being that they took their oath to the Constitution, and based on Article 6 of the Constitution, it states that the Constitution, its laws, which you're talking about, the Supreme Court case laws or decisions, as well as the treaty law or the supreme law of the land. So we use that to beat them in the head with their own laws so that they can uphold their oath. We haven't taken an oath. We don't have to.
They ain't got no damn court. They ain't got no damn court. No judges either.
But you know what I mean. That's why I say kangaroo court or whatever you want to refer to it as. Their administrative bankruptcy process. Let's say it like that.
Okay. You're right. You're right. Now, you're absolutely right. First of all, you're correct. They don't have no courts. They don't have no judges. These are administrative officers and administrative employees. But it's tricky. It's just a game. We know about the running back. We know about the tight end. We know about the touchdown. We know about the field goal. But we need to know about short-circuiting the man and woman and the living and the dead. Because when you deal with that, you're talking about the living and the dead. Anytime you go in there for any reason whatsoever, you have to let them know, look, I'm here on special appearance. I ain't dead. I'm living. You look and spit at me. Now, let's go forward.
That's right. We got a commercial coming up. Hold on, Brother Tarhaka. Let's get this in right quick. I'm going to play yours again in ours.
Warning. You have entered the realms of the gods. So give us your mind and your full attention.
So you say you deal with esoteric information? I never heard of such.
Well, you're in for a treat.
Blog talk, this is the blog talk. Alim, El-Bey dropping jewels every day. Blog talk, this is the blog talk. Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual. Blog talk, this is the blog talk. Alim, El-Bey dropping jewels every day. Blog talk, this is the blog talk. Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual. So you claim to be a god?
Damn right I'm a god. The maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, father, civilization. civilization, God of the universe. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that.
So tune in or lose, friend. All strategies apply mathematically. The information he drop is real powerful. So get your notepad, it's more than an hour full. Watch your jaw, the crew is watching talk. Indigenous to the land wherever we stand. First world order, we bringing it home in the first quarter. Invisible lines don't apply, we cross borders. Silly rabbit, knowledge for gods. No matter where you reside, Lodge, Temple of Mars. So don't fret or proceed with hesitation. Just tune in to Blog Talk to get the information. Peace. Whether you suffer from pain in your back to aches in your knees, come on down and purchase you some ancestral tea to get rid of all the parasites, toxins, and fleas. Spiritual elevation for cosmic gravitation. So put away the patience, cause there's no time to be wasted.
Ancestral tea, that's all you need. Ancestral tea,
so you better believe. Commercial advertising for AncestralTees.com. All rights are reserved. Peace.
Amen.
One more time. Our foreclosure killer package not only comes along with the necessary documents that you need, but also your very own personal coach to walk you through the process of saving your home. If you've been foreclosed on already, or if you've received documents stating that you'll be foreclosed on, or if you are already in the court fighting a foreclosure, contact Tarhaka Amana El-Bey, 904-303-9061. Also visit our website at www.newdebtelimination.com. Stop foreclosure on your property. Let's stop this unlawful practice. Contact me, 904-303-9061, before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
All right, peace. Be back. Well, Brother Tarhaka.
Hey, man. Hey. You got to send me that first commercial over here so I can start running that, man. That's off the chain. You got to send that over here, man. So I got
give props to
Small in the morning. Walter Williams at night. Get it over here early, man. Let me run this thing, man.
Okay. I'll send it over to you. Well, I got to thank our communication and media national brother Kamos for hooking that up. He hooked up both of those commercials for us, so we definitely appreciate him and send out gratitude and praise, to him for doing that for us. Let's get back into this info, Brother Tarhaka, because hopefully people going to begin to start getting it here sooner or later. Tell us about, child support. Is that necessary? Because brothers, even sisters calling me all the time about information about child support. But particularly brothers, is that something in which that they have to contend with, something in which that they can, what can they do in order to help with combating that fraud in which that is being perpetrated against them? As well as also garnishment. Let's talk about that too in the same mix.
Well, that's easy one. We do that all the time. I had a brother. He was a truck driver, and you know how to do if you don't pay child support. We're going to suspend license. He had children from 2 different women, and he called me. Me and him went to work. We put it together and put it down on there. They sent him a letter say, okay, you ain't got to pay the child support no more. Your license has been reinstated. I said, okay. He called me. And I said, okay, well, you straight. I said, go down there to the DMV and get your license. He said, I'm going to call you when I get to the DMV. I said, okay. So he goes to the DMV, he called me back. He said, don't give me my license. I said, what you mean? I said, you showed him everything. Yeah, there was an agreement with everything. I said, what's the problem? He said, I didn't tell you that I had a baby from another woman. I said, why you didn't tell me that? We could have got it all of a sudden. Well, I was saving it. I said, you don't save no crap with the devil. I said, you get him. He ran all the way across the board. Well, I'm going to go back and get him. I said, okay. So it's the same thing. The only thing that they can do business with or prosecute or do anything with is dead people. If you understand what I'm telling you, so the problem has been we have either been agreeing to be dead or have not dealt with anything about somebody declaring we were dead. It's as simple as that. They can't do it with no man or no woman. When a man come in there or a woman come in there, it's over. All you got to do is be a man and a woman all the way across the board. That's it. That's out. Those are the rules of this particular game. You don't have to take my word for it. Go over there to YouTube and type in Carl Lynn. His mama was an IRS agent. You'll hear the story. And she was down in there, and the IRS said, you on $30,000, you come and say, look, I came here to pay you. I just need you to sign this right here saying that I owe you. So put your name on it, sign it, and so I can pay you. He said, I can't do that. And because he living, he ain't dead. Okay, that's the way it goes.
Okay. Well, I mean, and that correlates to, I mean, even in the court case, Shearer versus Cullings, it states basically that for there to be a crime, there must be an injured party. You know, and that's the rule, in all the cases across the bat. I mean, show the injured party, you know. If there's no injured party, then there's no crime that's been committed. Why are we even here? You know, what is this? Is this equity? Is this, right, is this equity?
No,
is this morality? Is this common law court? Mm-hmm.
No, what has happened is when they start, nobody jumps up and says, look, I ain't dead, I'm alive. So therefore, they are able to proceed and getting down in all the muckety muck. Right.
So you know, how would they come back in the power of being able to control that situation? We know nowadays that, you know, individuals would probably need to learn how to do it in a state letter, or what is called an executor or executrix letter. What you recommend on that, Brother Tarhaka?
Well, the estate letter and the executrix letter is fantastic, but it still boils down to one bottom line scenario. The United States is a corporation. Only thing that a corporation can do business with or deal with is another corpse. So, once we get that straight, now we are ready for the muckety muck. If you got an estate letter, what I recommend, let's take a look at the mortgage thing for instance. All right, now we sent you over to claim the name before they do. All right, so we get that right. Okay. Once we get that right, we slap it on top of everything we're going in. But we do not want them to say, Mr. Alim, you can have your house. You ain't got to pay no mortgage no more. That's not what we want. What about my time? What about fraud? What about damages? I need to don't mess with the money. Get the money straight. Get it first. Okay, whatever they done. So we're dealing with the living and the dead. We get that right, and then we go deal with the damages. On the top, off the cuff. Anytime you deal with them, in the mail is a matter of the living and the dead. If the electric company send you a bill, they are dealing with the living and the dead. If the mortgage company send you something about a mortgage, they are dealing with the living and the dead. If the gas company send you something, they're dealing with the living and the dead. We got to straighten that out before we even begin.
Indeed.
You're
right. Right. So if that's the first thing they get, what type of letters would they write then to these particular agencies or corporations to let them know that they're dealing with a living flesh and blood sentient being as compared to a small civilized small tooth or in that particular manner.
All right. Well, the first thing that I did when I did mine, because I don't have no mortgage, the first thing I did, they sent me a letter when I found out. They sent me a letter addressed to their people, and I got the letter, and I sent them a letter back. I said, excuse me, because you need to be polite. And I say, it seemed to be a problem. You have addressed me as a dead man. Now, you and I both went to school in third grade grammar, me and you. The difference between a proper noun and an improper noun. It appears that your office may have made a mistake. But if you would be so kind as to address me as a living man in upper and lowercase letters. And we went through that about 2 or 3 times, and then after that, then I sent the affidavit. And when I sent that to them, they threw their hands up in the air, and they told the lawyers they was fired. And they said, well, we can't, it's over. That was the end. And they contacted me, sent me a letter, and then they sent it over to the county recorder's office, and then they sent that back to me and say you stay in the property, you don't owe nothing, it's yours, that's the end. It's just a matter of dealing with the living and the dead. And this goes all the way, when you get arrested, police are not arresting you, they're performing the bodily attachment, the living and the dead. So if we understand that, we don't have to get excited. All we got to do is turn it around, and then we can get creative. I run tests to make sure this thing was all right. I even went out and become arrested on purpose. And when they got me down there, they made sure that they didn't give me nothing that with the word black on it. And this was amazing because I already I need $500 million if you say black, I'm going to crucify you. And they didn't do it. So so I said, okay, I've been out here long enough, I'm going to leave. And so I left, and I'm telling you, I go. You know, a scientist does not declare anything until he have done experiments and come to a conclusion, and then he presents it to the world.
Interesting info. That's what they need to hear, because the fact is that many are scared to. They put it this way: they straddle the fence between negritude, negrodom, and Moorish nationality. You know, should we be Negro for today or Moorish for tomorrow? You know, type of thing. So, you know, the thing is that we're still learning. Information is coming. We're still putting processes and procedures together. What works, what doesn't work. You know, what is more efficient. You know, and that's what we're supposed to be doing, because it's not as if the Albion is going to sit us down and just say, look, let me show you the keys on how to take over this country. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we know that this is eventually going to happen, is us coming back in control of the country because of the fact that Prophet Noble Ali already prophesied it, as well as also been biblically prophesied. So we know that these things will occur here pretty soon, as a matter of fact. And, you know, we can say that, you know, Obama, in a sense, could be a sign of that, you know. I mean, what's your take on that, Brother Tarhaka?
Well, my take on that is, first of all, we're going to have to start understanding individualism. We look at baseball. Baseball is a group activity. Football and basketball, all is group activity. But when a man steps up to the plate, it's time for individual achievement. So what he's going to have to do is make sure that he's ready. Now, when it comes to dealing with the society that we live in, it is a corporate situation. So that means that your nationality should be team. But when you step up to the plate, there are rules and regulations governing what's about to happen. Strike one, strike two, strike three, boom, foul. All that's on individual achievement. It doesn't have anything to do with your nationality. So we have two different things going on inside the United States. We have a commerce game. Then we have a nation of people who are trying to be recognized as a nation of people. But you cannot mix oil with water. Take your nationality and align that with the people. Because when we start dealing with nationality and what's rightfully ours to have and what's going to be, we have to do that as a team. But individually, you're going to have to master the game of commerce. When you master the game of commerce, you have success there. Then you're all right. You can't, you see, you don't go in there and say, well, look, I'm a moron. And y'all owe me this here and I did this. No. Where's your government? Where's your military? Where? So put that back over there with the team. And then come back, take his stick, the stick he got, hit him in the head with his stick, because he recognizes that stick. When you hit him with that stick, you go, okay, yeah, okay. I understand that stick. I've seen that stick before. Come with, walk around in that courtroom in the midst of them lions with red meat wrapped around your waist. We got a problem. And don't go that way. Separate the two. Beat them with their stick. And when it's time for the government to come, as a nation, that's when you use the other stick.
That's right. Let me bring on Brother L here. See what he got something to get on up in here with. And also, we have a question. Let me go to the phone lines. We got area code 708-708. You're on the air. Area code 708.
Oh yeah, this is Musa Master El-Bey. I had a question about saying something about the UN was saying that the United States should be returning the land back to the Native Americans. Is they talking about the fake Indians or are they talking about us?
You got that, bro?
Oh,
wow.
Well, I read the article, and of course, It could be for those who've been federalized or state recognized. But the thing is that us as being indigenous is something of which that, just like what Brother Tarhaka just talked about, we're our government, we're our military, or, some type of structure. And that's what we have to do in order to, we need organization. So it can apply to us if we was all moving in that direction, or we had enough people moving in that direction. Yes, right. No doubt about it. However, those so-called $5 Indians that's getting away with stealing your birthright and claiming being Native American, even though, as Nate mentioned earlier, really there's no such thing, but of course that's the title in which that they use in that article. That's basically it. They're the ones getting away with the birthright theft, and could it be another avenue, in order to continue this birthright? They say turning the land back over, but then it's, you still have some damn near white, so-called people, getting the land, is really being turned over. You see what I'm saying? So we definitely have to put something together quickly in order to do that. Because if you notice, also the article came out too that the United Nations is talking about giving. The United Nations is trying to make the United States give reparations for slavery.
Yeah, I seen that too. But like, what's
right.
going on? Like I've been watching the Moors movement for a while, and I've been talking to a lot of people that want to join. They want to become a Moor and everything, but it's a problem with confusion from basically Lord Albert, from what I see.
Well, they are really Moors.
Yeah, I mean, why everybody can't get structure and fall behind, like the government do, and pick one person, to be a president or whatever you want to call it, or something. You know what I'm saying? Like far as somebody to represent or whatever you want to call them, and have people.
Let me hold this a minute.
What was that?
Let me explain something to you. See, the first thing that you got to understand is your own self and your own people. We are the kind of people who respect manhood. In every one of our circumstances and some of the greatest achievements that we ever made, we were looking at a man that broke the rules against everything we thought we believed in. We had Martin Luther King. We had Muhammad Ali. We had Malcolm X. We had Elijah Muhammad. All these rule breakers. Now, what we need to totally realize is we got to stop with the, something going to happen. If we do this little piece of paperwork and we do this, that, and the other, something going to happen. No, we're going back to individual achievement, because what we are supposed to do as Moors is we are supposed to be creators. We are supposed to be, just like DELBERT Blair told you, a fourth dimension of consciousness and being creators and bringing into physical manifestation things on an individual plane. We didn't, you know what? Me and you, we could have said anything we wanted to say about boxing until Muhammad Ali came and set the record straight, and Jack Johnson. You got to get outside the box. We're talking about what is it that you think? What is it that you're going to take that you thought and bring it into physical manifestation? That's the way it's always been. We didn't know nothing about Malcolm X until he appeared on the scene. We didn't know nothing about no Martin Luther King until he pierced the scene. We may not have agreed with everything they said, but one thing certain, we sure had to get out their way because they weren't acting. They was thinking, and they were coming on, and they went down in history outside the box. So if we can understand this equation, the Moors ain't got no problem. We're talking about standing to the plate. Strike one, strike two, strike three, foul, ball, all that individual achievement. You got a brain on your shoulder. Your brain can produce something that nobody else on the planet can reduce or bring into existence. And this is the type of thinking that we're going to have. We got to start with this. Well, the United States, the UN said this is, man, look here. Let me tell you something. People that's been classified and branded, remember the brand I told you about, as white people, they're doing stuff for who? White people. They're definitely afraid of you. They know who the real man is. So what I'm trying to get the real man to do is step on up. So hold on a minute. Let me hold it a minute. Let the bull out. Let me hit him upside the head. I guarantee you I'll knock him to you know what out. Okay. That's all I want to. And we get this kind of thinking, then we all right. Are you there, bro?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but what I was trying to see is how can we get some type of organization and structure where, that we can like the situation in Flint. I feel like, we should be able to have somebody, a whole team of people, as far as scientists or whatever, to go and figure
out. Okay, well, let me ask you this. Where you at?
I'm in so-called, in territory of Illinois, Chicago, in that area.
Okay. Well, call us back when you done started something.
Oh, when I started something, I'm working. It's hard to work with people that don't want to work with you.
We don't want to hear none of that. Call me back when you start something. Get them talents, put them to work, because we ain't got them. We can't do it like you do. You can create something that nobody else on earth can create.
Well, brother.
Right. Brother Master Musa, one of the ways in which that we was able to quell the egos of those who, of course, coming up under one person, what I'm saying, that's probably not going to happen in this day and time because we've seen what happened to the previous brothers like Brother Tarhaka said, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, what happened to Marcus Garvey, what happened to Noble Drew Ali. So just coming up under one person, right now we're in a time where there's going to be many heads. And what we can do is that as these many heads come out into the forefront is form alliances by way of treaties. That's how nations do it. So we have to put up our group mentality beyond a society, beyond a organization, to a national or to a national status. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to come to. So we have to understand that now we have to move towards nationality, a national status, and once groups begin to start, coming together in that accord, we can come together as far as forming treaties so that we can say, oh, yeah, we separate, but yet we're together by way of treaty, and this is how we operate.
All right.
And that's basically already being done. United Washington has combined and connected with many different other organizations by way of treaties, with the Nuwaubians, with the Yamasees, with the Moorish national government, with the Council, with the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs, so we have treaties, already, between many groups, so we have come together in that accord, So it is being done, but it can be more. It can definitely be more. All right.
Right.
Well, you're absolutely right. But the only point that I was trying to make to the brother is if we look back down through history and our story, we find one consistent thing. We just have a habit of thinking that there was some magic going on. There wasn't no magic going on. These babies came in, they did what they had to do, and they shaped and molded our experience until this day. So, we have to ask ourselves a question. What kind of paperwork did Geronimo read? Really none. What kind of paperwork did Genghis Khan read? Really none. What kind of paperwork did Tarhaka read when he came over to help Hezekiah? Really none. So you mold and shape your destiny regardless of what indicators that you have to somebody else say is supposed to happen. You do what you got to do. Your job is to do as much good for as many people as you can possibly do. Be as strong and as powerful as you can possibly be. When the smoke clear, then you're all right. There is no blueprint that's put in place that will govern real men. It never has been. When you step up to the plate, it's time for individual achievement. When they gave the ball to Walter Payton, we was on the Walter Payton show. And that's all I got to say about that. Because if you don't look at it that way, and you are looking for some type of guidepost, you'll never make it. Matthew Henson, when he was going up to the top of the world, there was no guidepost. You couldn't even see night or day. There was so much snow, but he stood on top of the world, and he picked a white boy up and carried him up there with him. When he went down to Israel with the Caucasians saying that he stood on top of the world, but that man knew doggone well who discovered the world. And he had to carry it with him all the days of his life, because Matthew Henson was the one that stood on top of the world, and no man since that day has ever done that. So it's been the same mechanics, same basic motorist apparandi throughout all our ancient story. Individual achievement, and let the chips fall where they may. There are no guideposts. I don't give a poop about what somebody said in the media. I ain't got time to listen. I'm too busy making history.
Indeed, indeed. Brother L, you have anything you want to add on?
Yes. You were saying earlier about nationality and birthright, which is the number one key. What the brother was talking about, the brother from Chicago, to Illinois Republic. Yeah, he was wanted to find out what were they talking about, or what the UN was talking about, that they have to give reparations to the indigenous people. And you was saying earlier about the so-called Indians, Native Americans, by them being federalized and everything, they might give it to them. But the thing about that, they're federalized. We are not. So they have to see FBI agents. We talk to the Department of the State. So we are Aboriginal indigenous people of this land, And the more of us, will come to claim that right. But the problem is in numbers. There's not enough of us filing for, although the number is growing. It is growing and growing rapidly. But I just hope someday it would be more of us, enough of us that are nationalized and have our birthright intact to make this claim.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Brother L. I mean, actually, we've been given instructions. The times that we have gone to the United Nations, we've talked to international lawyers, and they've told us that if we have a petition of over 10,000 people as a nation, they can begin to start doing something in that manner, as well as also being recognized allegedly by 5 to 7 other nations. So we can do something on a larger scale than just being state recognized or federally recognized. So we're talking about being recognized as a nation. This is just what was told to us at the United Nations. Of course, everything has to be mastered and put in perspective and prioritized. So, that's what needs to be done now.
Yeah.
Well, in order for you to be recognized as a nation, there's certain criteria they may not have told you. The first thing you have to have is one family name. Okay, you got to have that, and you have to have a certain amount of individuals. But what I'm trying to get you to understand, there's something else in your way that they haven't told you, and that is the fact that the United States of America has never been without its slaves. And a real man ain't asking for freedom, justice, and equality in America. He's going to have to take it.
That's the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the matter. That's just what it is. And the more and more we see, the more we have our psychologists, sociologists, psychiatrists, and historians to come to that exact same conclusion. It's time for us to definitely wake up in order to understand that and put it in perspective. And like you said, prioritize our strategies and what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's start with individuals.
Right.
Me personally, I'm a professional with a high-powered rifle.
Right.
There's a whole lot of stuff I can tell you, but I can't say it on the air.
Right, I get you.
But
I know.
People coming out of Vietnam come over here and leave out of this house and be like, God damn. Anyway,
right.
You're going to have to learn this and get this little stuff down and deal with on an individual basis. You ain't got to worry about what's going to happen in the future because you got a wife, you got children, you got a mama, you got daddy, sisters, and brothers, and they don't want to hear nothing about no more, so all you got to protect all of them. So you got to deal with that, and when the time comes, it's going to come. If the prophet says it's going to come. But my question is, are you prepared? Are you ready? We got to stop with this. Well, I'm waiting on the moon. No, you don't wait on nothing. You get you together. As soon as somebody say the word God, run in the house and look in the mirror.
Sure indeed. We all right. We have about 10 more minutes left before we go off the air. Let me see if there's any other information in which that we need to deal with. Okay, well, we got a call. We got a call of 516. Call of 516 area code. You're on the air.
What is going on? This is Tracy Southern Bay.
Peace, brother.
Peace,
brother. What is going on? Alim, Islam, brother. I've been listening to you ever since you had Panic on your show.
Okay.
So I was, I've been, when you had Panic back in the day, so, yeah,
right.
You need to, man.
Yeah, you need to bring his butt back on.
I know. Tell me about it. But, you know, he puts some stuff out on YouTube every once in a while. I'm subscribed to his YouTube thing.
Oh, yeah.
And for the brother Tarhaka, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, man.
Tarhaka.
Right. Hey, what's that? You know, I spoke to you the other day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you remember me?
No.
I was the one caller on the show.
I talked to 1,000 people a day.
You had Sherry Taylor Jackson on the show.
Oh, okay. All right.
Right. I was that one caller.
Okay.
And me and her was chatting up. I enjoyed talking to her. I enjoyed talking to her. So, what caught my attention on the title of the show, you got foreclosures, debt, and credit elimination. So, is that something that you do, or what's the? Yeah, I missed a bulk of the show, so I don't know if you had talked about it.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. Yes, I do. And first thing in the morning, I'm gonna call Brother Alim, and he'll do the same thing. And because we got so many brothers and sisters in the United States with this kind of problem, and but yes, that's what we do.
Right, and Alim, you're doing this too? Alim?
I'm here. Peace.
Oh, hey, I'm just asking, do you do this too, or you got Brother Tarhaka on the show, you know, talking about it? I'm just, you know, because I know we all, especially as more, we've heard about this.
Right.
But only
right. Well,
I mean, of us that's doing it.
Well, brother, we do a little bit of it all also. But, you know, this is Brother Tarhaka's night, and so, you know, he's on our show. He's been gracious enough to have me on his show, you know, several times, and so I have to return the favor. And this is what, you know, we wanted to build on and talk about. And Brother Tarhaka, I mean, he's proficient at what he does, you know, and anyone who's proficient at what they do, you know, in this Moorish movement is where we recommend that you definitely check out. You know, so yes, I've dealt with mortgages, I've dealt with foreclosures, we dealt with child support, we dealt with credit card debt and student loans and tickets and things. But you know, there's always more to learn, and that's the key.
Right.
You know, we're trying to get as much information. We're trying to get as much information as possible, because we want to have this thing concrete and down pat to where not only can I use it, but you can use it. You know, others can use it and come, you know, not just for today, but for tomorrow.
Right. No doubt. Well, the path I'm on now is gathering this information and studying it and forming study groups. So that was the purpose of me asking, you know, is this what you do? And, you know, we could talk more about it in the future. But like I said, I'm getting involved with online groups, and I'm getting involved, and I've already started groups that are in my area. I'm in New York, Long Island. So, and this kind of information, just for the people that's listening, it's very good to have like a study group and people that you're studying this information with, because I might have information. I have a lot of information, but I would like other people to have to look at the stuff that I have, and we compare notes, because I'm going to miss some stuff that somebody else might get. So, you know, I'm just building with people, and not just Moors, but with everybody. And I was thinking, you know, when that situation happened to Bobby Hamid, you know, I can't help but think, like, if he had this information, if the Hypnotic had this information to help him, I mean, because brothers did come in and help him, but, you know, it would have been so much more if he would have had this information. As a matter of fact, I'm taking Tanic's teaching, and I'm using it to actually help me with this information. Because this information this is another form of occult, and that's what Tanic, you know, teaches, all sorts of forms of that. And this is no different than a lot of the cults that teachings that he teach, and I'm applying it to this money. So this money, with all the symbols that's involved, and all the hypnotism that people, how this whole money concept got people killing each other, stabbing each other in the back. There's a lot of occult stuff going on with this money as well. But
ain't no money.
Whether it's good or bad, huh?
Ain't no money.
I know. Well, that's what makes it so. That's what makes it. That's the magic in it. That's the magic in it, because there is no money.
Exactly.
And look how we acted. Look how we acted over something that's nothing. That is a big form of magic right then and there, right there, right in our eyes, that we are all experiencing for people that don't believe this stuff actually exists. And that in itself, it's a cult. That's a cult practice that we all are involved in, that we don't even know that we're involved in. So that's what I learned from Panic, and I'm applying to this. That's another perspective that people might want to explore. Looking at this money thing like it is, because like you said, money doesn't even exist.
No.
Exactly. So,
well, I gotta tell you one more secret now. If you ever in a courtroom,
what's up?
Judge get up and he goes and say, "I'll be right back." He goes out and then he comes back in and he don't put on another hat. You say the same stuff you said to make him run out in the first place. When he come back in, just say, "Well, Your Honor, I'm glad you're back. For the record, I'm here on special appearance." And so now you got to go back again. It's a wonderful game. When you learn how to play it, it's funny.
All right. I appreciate the work that y'all guys are putting in, and I'm going to continue listening. And, I'm going to tap out with the next person, call in, or, y'all do your thing.
All right, thank you. Thank you, brother.
Peace to the God. Peace to the God. And goddesses.
Hey, peace. Let me bring back on Brother L, because he's been kind of quiet tonight. I got to get him on here now. Come on, Brother L.
Brother L, come on.
Peace to the God.
He's writing and taking all this in.
Sean. Okay, I've been saying some things.
That's right,
brother. Brother, I've been joined the talk tonight. Brother Tarhaka, I heard from you from another brother, Brother Amir. He told me I listened to your show the other night, and you had Brother El-Bey in Pleasant Bay on, and talking about the Moorish government, and that's the first time I listened to your show. But I will be listening to it more often because I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And but the thing about foreclosures. Now your number is 904-303-9073.
9061.
9061. Okay. So I want to get that right because I want to get us to some other brothers that have these kind of problems.
Mm-hmm. It don't matter what you got going on.
We're gonna play that. We're gonna play that commercial.
One more time. Our foreclosure killer package not only comes along with the necessary documents that you need, but also your very own personal coach to walk you through the process of saving your home. If you've been foreclosed on already, or if you've received documents stating that you'll be foreclosed on, or if you are already in the court fighting a foreclosure, contact Tarhaka Amana El-Bey, 904-303-9061. Also visit our website at www.newdebtelimination.com. Stop foreclosure on your property. Let's stop this unlawful practice. Contact me, 904-303-9061, before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
All right. So,
thank you,
any closing remarks within the last 2 minutes here, Brother Tarhaka? Give us something special.
Yeah. All right. Well, all we got to do is remember one thing, that there can be no president of the United States to a country. You can only be president of the United States corporation.
Exactly.
And we can understand that more better if when Donald Trump get in there, we just snatch your toupee off. He'd be president of Walmart. Because corporations can't have no citizens. There are no citizens. But we got to stop acting like citizens and understand the game. The game deals with the dead and the living. If we can just separate the two, anytime you get anything from anybody, anywhere, any kind of way, address the dead people in all capital letters, it's fun. It's time to have some fun. But when it comes to mortgages, don't mess with the money. Make sure you get the money. And so that's why we had the packages and stuff. Student loan, child support, over locked up in prison, all that go the same way.
All right, we got another question, Brother Tarhaka. I thought we was getting ready to, but this question is so good, we might have to last another 5-10 minutes.
That's all right. Let them in.
All right. Me too.
Let them in.
Okay, the question is, Brother Tarhaka, what do you think about the prosecutor from out of New York, Akeisha Shabazz statement towards the Moors on Sarnetta's?
I'm not familiar with it. I don't watch TV, but what did she say?
It was on Sarnetta's TV, which is YouTube. It was all over Facebook. I'm going to have to send you, since you can't comment on it now, I'm going to have to, you're probably going to end up doing a whole damn show on it after I send it to you. So, so yeah, it's like that. So I ain't gonna let you do no comment now, then, since you haven't seen it. But I'm gonna send it to you, and then you might have to bring me back on too.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll work. We can do that.
Okay.
Well,
not
knowing what she said, the only thing I can say about the Moors, not knowing what she said, is inevitable. This is our land. It is our image that appears on all of the coat of arms of the royal families of Europe. The first inhabitants there were us. They know it. They know this is our land. Us and the Egyptians are one and the same people, so they out of gas.
Exactly. Sound right in exact to me, Brother Tarhaka. Appreciate you coming on, being part of the First World Order FWO family, and definitely bring you back on again. You know how we do. We're gonna have to keep switching it back and forth, for you can understand what's going on. You know that there is some type of unity amongst the Moors in the community.
There it is. Well, send me that bad commercial you got over there, because I like to listen to that.
I'm
on the house.
I'm gonna send you a commercial and the video. So I'm gonna send that.
All right.
All right. Well,
send it on over here.
Right. Well, we appreciate y'all for listening once again to First World Radio. This is Brother Alim, and I'm gonna let Brother El get his words in right quick. Brother El, what you got to say on the outro?
All right, brother. I'm looking forward to the next show next week. What are you gonna have for us next week, there, Brother Alim?
I don't know. We haven't come up with that yet. So.
Okay. All right.
But we're gonna try to have someone. I'll work at it within the next few days here. Brother Tarhaka, he gave us Brother Walter Williams, because he had him on, so he came on to ours. And then we had his sister on Floorburn, and then we had Brother Tarhaka. So I mean, we had them back to back here for the last 3 weeks. So we definitely appreciate all our guests on which that have come on. And we are out, y'all. Peace.
Warning. You have entered the realms of the gods. So give us your mind and your full attention.
So you say you deal with esoteric information? I never heard of such.
Well, you're in for a treat.
Blah talk, this is the blah talk. Alim, El-Bey dropping jewels every day. Blah talk, this is the blah talk. Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual. Blah talk, this is the blah talk. Alim, El-Bey dropping jewels every day. Blah talk, this is the blah talk. Metaphysical, we deal with the spiritual. So you claim to be a god?
Damn right I'm a god. The maker, the owner, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, god of the universe. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that.
So tune in or lose, friend. All strategies applied mathematically. The information he drop is real powerful. So get your notepad, it's more than an hour full. Watch your jaw, the crew is watching talk. Indigenous to the land wherever we stand. First world order, we bringing it home in the first quarter. Invisible lines don't apply, we cross borders. Silly rabbit, knowledge for gods. No matter where you reside, Lodge, Temple, or Mars. So don't fret or proceed with hesitation. Just tune in to Blog Talk to get the information. Peace.
Everyone likes data, because when you have more data, you have more freedom. Freedom to do whatever. That's why AT&T is offering you 15 gigabytes for $100, plus $15 for each line. Because the more data you have, the more freedom you can enjoy. Freedom to post more memories, download more fun, and share what matters most with who matters most. 15 gigs of data for $100, plus $15 for each line at AT&T. What more could you want? I sure can't think of anything. AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Come in now and get the all-new LG V10, designed to capture, edit, and share high-quality video.
Pricing is monthly for service on smartphones on AT&T Next. Other pricing options available. Overage monthly and other charges and restrictions apply. See a store for details.